Okay, here we are back at it another day. Longshore McKnight here on social media. You name it, we're there on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, Spotify, Apple Tunes, and part of Yellowhammer News. It's Longshore McKnight, and we're glad you are with us here today. And our River Region Straw chat line, who was up again early today, 4:20 this morning.
I take as much pride in that as anything. We got our own little community over there. We got our own little city. You know, I like to think of those guys over there, up and down, and a couple of ladies, I imagine. Yeah. You know, you got the shopkeeper, you got Mr. Hooper, you got Big Bird, you got Snuffleupagus, you got Luis, you got Bob, you got Oscar the Grouch.
Mm-hmm.
I'll let you guys figure out who that is. They're up, they're sweeping out the front of their storefront, a couple of them out front, sitting there on the bench, playing checkers or something like that. It's all for Longshore and McKnight, our own little city. John is in his main studio. I told you I'm going to be on the road a lot over the next couple of weeks with Troy basketball. Right now, I am in a Fairfield Inn in San Marcos, Texas, as we speak.
Yeah,
yes,
nice.
Yeah, And I am here, I think, today and tomorrow. Then I'll be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, just chasing another basketball win for the Troy Trojans, who play tomorrow at North Texas. There is news. There are things.
One thing just hits me, and as our River Region Straw chat line, is indicating that they're tired of hearing about Charles Bediako. Well, I wonder if the ruling had gone differently, it would still feel that way. But one quick question.
Yes.
The Troy games tomorrow.
Yes.
I've always wondered about this. Why do basketball teams go so early on road games?
Well, normally in the past, we have not. We'll go the day before. It is a long way to get from Troy, Alabama to San Marcos, Texas. Yeah, but there have been a couple of trips this year that we've actually gone even a day earlier. Troy's in first place right now. We've got 4 straight games on the road, which is why I'm on the road so much over the next couple of weeks. They want to get them in, get them down, get them settled and all that. And I get it. It does make a lot of travel for your boy right here, but not a lot of people do that. And again, this is not something we do every trip, but this is one of those because it's an important trip, I suppose. So today, just a day of practice and prep and everything, and then get ready for the game tomorrow. The Bediako case, is for all intents and purposes done. It was an amusing little sidelight for a little while, but again, real quick, in case you were under a rock or something, Tuscaloosa Circuit Judge Daniel Pruitt probably has sacrificed all of his hopes of re-election. Anyway, Daniel Pruitt has denied Alabama men's basketball student athlete Charles Bediako's motion for a preliminary injunction to allow him to continue playing for the Crimson Tide.
Barry, is this the judge that went to Auburn undergraduate? I think I see something here.
There's some surreptitious and nefarious goings on down
I
there.
did not read that on Tider Insider, but I got a feeling somebody has posted that.
In his ruling, Judge Pruitt wrote that Bediako, quote, failed to establish that he would suffer irreparable harm absent the issuance of the injunction. He also, in his ruling, added that the NCAA, who was a litigant in this case, quote, acted with adequate justification in enforcing the rules promulgated by its membership. The rules do not permit a student athlete to participate in collegiate basketball, leave for the NBA, and return to the collegiate arena. All the evidence in the record indicates that the NCAA has consistently applied this specific rule. End quote. That's from the
Specific.
judge. That ain't
Yeah.
from the NCAA. That ain't from the University of Alabama. That's from the judge.
Yeah, the specific is a key word, I guess, when you break it all down, because it is obvious and it's still going on that there are players in men's collegiate basketball that have gotten paid, which is another way of saying professional, overseas, China, Germany, wherever else you want to pick. They've made money, they've been paid, but they've come back to play in college, and they currently are still doing so. So maybe that specific instance is what he is talking about. But I still think there are a lot of gaps in the NCAA
ain't no doubt.
bylaws and rule books. I don't know if you might happen to see, Friday, everybody was waiting with bated breath to see what the judge would rule, and he had not come to a decision, so it lingered through the weekend, which allowed Charles Bediako to play the game in Auburn on Saturday. But as you read some of the accounts from the media members that were covering the events on Friday, it certainly came across to this media member. And, I don't want to say that I'm some, big-time law guy because, I didn't go to law school.
Well, you did take that first day of class.
Yeah, I did take business law, which was interesting. But as I just read the accounts on Friday, it came across to me, based on the reporting, that the case wasn't going well for Bediako, and his team was maybe not doing real well compared to the NCAA's legal team. Just there again, what I read, what I put together, reading between the lines, so to speak. Yeah. So I can't say that I was totally surprised. I think I would have been more surprised in any way if Bediako would have come out victorious here.
I'm along with you there. Yeah,
it certainly came across to me on Friday that it was not going well for Charles and his legal team.
So
now, what happens from here?
Right.
I couldn't tell you.
Again, you're
like a lot of these people on our chat line. I'm kind of ready for it to be over with. I've said from the get-go, I'm just not real thrilled about this. It's not something that I would, advocate, but I get it. Take a shot, see what happens, see where the chips fall.
Now, understand, John, he watches Law and Order. Sometimes he gets ticked off during the NCAA tournament because they preempt Law and Order. I mean, so he's.
And as a matter of fact, I'm on season 4 of The Lincoln Lawyer right now on Netflix.
Oh, I like that guy.
Yeah,
season 4 I like started. That guy, Mickey.
Yeah, Mickey Holler. Yeah, great.
I like it. Yeah, I haven't gotten to season 4, but
it just dropped. I mean, last Thursday or something.
So if it's not Perry Mason or it's not L.A. Law back in the day or Law and Order or the Lincoln Lawyer, John and I are pretty much out to lunch on it. We don't want to say, well, in the eyes of the de jure, de facto, we don't know. But it does appear that way offsides Jeff's prayers have been answered. This is the last day. Maybe ever have to talk about Charles. I think it's done. It looks done. Can you appeal? I don't think so. I think this is the law of the land. I could be wrong. Somebody else could come and sue something. I don't know. This is probably a dead issue with him, but something else may crop up. Now, what everybody wants to know is the aftermath of it all. And a lot of people, a lot of Alabama fans, righteously so, have been hit by the possibility that, or the fervent hope and the prayers by other fan bases, that Alabama will have to vacate the wins. Alabama, during the Bediako stretch, won 2 games, and I think they lost 1, something like that. 1, 2, and 2, something like that. I don't know. But will they have to vacate their wins against Texas A&M and Auburn? I don't think so. I think that's done. If I'm Texas A&M,
even if they did, could they? I mean, is that still going to keep them out of the NCAA tournament?
No. See, that's the thing. People say, "Oh, well, Texas A&M and Auburn are, they're probably both in right now. Missouri's in, but if they take that loss away, that gets them off the bubble." It would not count as a win for those teams. It would not get a win. You can't presuppose that, if Bediako wasn't playing, they'd have won. But it does take away a loss. I don't think that's a thing. And again, I could be wrong. This is my personal opinion. I think it's done. I think that's they're vacating. They're not vacating anything. It just is what it is. CBS Sports' John Rothstein says the NCAA Tournament Selection Committee will evaluate Alabama for the 2026 NCAA Tournament by the roster that it has available for March Madness, according to an NCAA official. They're not going to look and see, gosh, they got those win with Bediako and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And the other upshot of it all, and again, I don't think, the NCAA is going to punish Alabama. I don't think they're going to force them to vacate wins. I don't think that's going to happen. But the other thing is, was it worth it? Alabama fans,
yeah,
I mean, you did go. Yeah. You went 3-2 with Bediako. He was not a difference maker. In the two wins that we're talking about, the Texas A&M win and the Auburn win specifically, he was okay.
Well, look at the stat
right.
sheet. I mean, that sheet doesn't blow you away.
Yeah, was it worth it?
Had, 15 blocks, 20 points, 10 assists. I mean, it wasn't anything like that. Now, a big presence in the middle. Yeah, okay, I guess maybe that helps the overall team aspect. Maybe you can't put a number on that, but I wondered that from the get-go. Is it really worth the criticism that you're going to get from the media and other teams? And I still feel that if it had gone Bediako's way, we'd be reading today about all these other schools that are bringing kids in as well. I mean, they were schools, I believe, were just waiting, chomping at the bit. Didn't go Bediako's way, so they had to put that back in file 13 and say, well, we'll look into that a little bit later on. But that's a good point. Was it all worth it? The negative publicity,
you're changing your lineup. You've got all the distraction. The Auburn game, especially. A lot of the attention nationally was focused on that and on him, and all that. And you got to, the players for Alabama, they had their roster altered right in the thick of the SEC race. You've been practicing and working and off-season conditioning and all that, and you got your team and you got your chemistry, and all of a sudden here comes this guy, good guy, not a bad guy, not a disruptive guy, but comes in and so now we got this, this guy here. He's with us for 5 games. Now he's gone, and okay, now we're back to where we were before, and everybody, all the media is asking us about Bediako, and all of the focus, Dickie V during our games is talking about, Bediako shouldn't be playing, this and all that. So it's, was it worth it to go 3-2 with a guy who's, in a couple of those, they actually scored better when he wasn't out there. So, I don't think Nate Oates should have taken the risk, but it's over now. If it was me, I would have been like so many of the other coaches out there and just not fool with it. But now that it's over, is it really over? I think that part of it is.
Well, Barry,
but I do think, like Charlie Baker says, the NCAA really needs some help from Congress to make help make everything uniform.
And from what I understand, and there again, I'm no lawyer, but in terms of an appeal, I understand it would take a long time, longer than Charles Bediako and this Alabama basketball team have. I mean, season's over around April 1st, somewhere around there, when the national championship game is played in the NCAA tournament. Certainly don't think Alabama's going to get that far. So, I mean, if they were appealing, they'd have to have something done quickly, real quick. And from what I understand, the wheels of justice don't move that fast.
Well, you had to spend all that time sitting there cooling your heels, checking your watch, in that appealing that traffic ticket, that speeding ticket that you got, and you're thinking, holy smokes, if this is taking this long.
Never wasted 4 hours of my life as much as I did that for a measly. What a speeding ticket. My driver's license had expired. He pulled me over for speeding. Didn't
That's
write
right.
me up for speeding, but wrote me up for an expired driver's license. I'm thinking, you got to be kidding me. Jeez.
So
Oh,
John
man.
went, and
Terrible.
it's like, holy smokes, you got people up there,
Yeah.
Your Honor, he bumped into me. I didn't bump into him. He bumped into me. And,
No, matter of fact, I think I was the only traffic violation. I had to go through all these deadbeat dads that weren't paying child support, or divorces and all this kind of crap, and parole violations. And I'm thinking, really, Can you get me first? Get me out of here. I was in front of that judge all of about 2 minutes.
So
and I waited 4 hours.
The final word on this, we'll go to break. NCAA President Charlie Baker said this, quote, "Common sense won around today. The court saw this for what it is, an attempt by professionals to pivot back to college and crowd out the next generation of students. College sports are for students, not for people who already walked away to go pro and now want to hit the undo button at the expense of a teenager's dream." Aren't you ashamed of yourself, Charles?
Well, he is going back to school, and he's not taking the spot of any teenager. Their roster's set. Now, if he tries to come back next year, maybe you got an argument there, but he's not taking up anybody's spot.
Now, this from Tobias, he probably nailed it. He said that cop gave John a ticket because the Phantom didn't cover.
He's not the only one. I mean, somebody else had a little cheap shot earlier today on the Phantom. They can come back to bite you. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But I know how people are. They like to get, their shot. So I think that kind of indicates to you a little bit what we'll be discussing in about an hour. But it's okay. It's all right. I mean, we know that going in.
A Bediaco-less Alabama team plays tomorrow at Ole Miss on the SEC.
Are they back playing in Oxford? I know they had to play a lot of road games due to the weather that they experienced in Oxford a couple of weeks ago. I guess they are back playing at home.
Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
And, for at least one more game, they're going to talk a lot about Bediaco. And then hopefully,
I guess. I'm sure these talking heads, whoever's doing the game tomorrow night, will mention it. Well, here's a Tide team without Charles Bediaco.
Well, again,
we hear things though, Barry, Bama really didn't beat us Saturday. They were cheating. They had an ineligible player. Well, at the time he wasn't, but now he is. When are we going to start hearing that? I've not gone to Auburn message board today.
John and I both, I anticipated John's take on this situation. I do have a call out. I'm on the road. I can't check myself. As to whether or not they rolled Toomer's corner. John's checking too. But as it is right now, it's over with. The Bediaco experiment has ended with a good bit of negative publicity towards Alabama, a little bit of distraction towards the basketball team, but not a great deal of difference being made. I think,
the best way to sum it up, was it really worth it?
Would you have done it if you knew what you know now? I would not have. I would not. Well, we do know.
That's kind of like, I just thought of another.
Oh, can you share it with the class? Come on.
Would you really have done that and then find out she's pregnant 3 months later? I don't know.
Well, if you knew that, you wouldn't have done it. If you knew the outcome before you. Anyway, he's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. A little bit later on, Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com,
Yeah.
plus Travis Ryer. Ryer on YouTube will join us from Talkin' Tide. Phantom's Daily Dog.
Yeah, got to do it.
Ed Gurn Jr.'s Victoryland Topic Wheel. All coming up. John is in his home studio. I'm in San Marcos, Texas. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Located just 8 miles north of Alabama's state capital, Capitol Hill features 3 18-hole championship courses. With more than 1,500 acres of golf and nature, the pure magnitude of this facility is amazing and allows each course to be drastically different from the others. Capitol Hill also features an innovative 360-degree driving range, 400 yards in diameter. Capitol Hill offers a fully stocked pro shop with the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Capitol Hill for tee times and more information.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, "You're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown." Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Valentine's means Marguerite's, and Marguerite's has everything the special person in your life wants. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and all shapes and sizes of diamonds. They have special gifts that will bring happiness and joy for decades and decades. For your convenience, Marguerite's is open 7 days a week. So drop by and pick out a gift that will surprise the Valentines in your life. Marguerite's is located at 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they make it. They really make it. Hey, and our good friends at Marguerite's have extended hours because Valentine's is this Saturday. So make sure you have that special Valentine's gift for the loved one in your life. Best way to stay on the good side, surprise her with something from Marguerite's Exquisite Jewelry. They're going to be open early this Friday and Saturday, opening up early around 8 a.m. Their regular hours are 10 to 5:30. Every other day of the week, they're open 7 days a week. But don't forget, little early bird special Friday and Saturday as they open at 8 a.m. till 5:30 p.m. for Valentine's. So make sure you have the loved one in your life a special gift on Valentine's, because if you don't, you'll be sleeping on the couch. That's how that works, I'm told. I'm always pretty good about Valentine's. Isn't that right?
It has, well, you have, because there have been a lot of times you've walked in there, like me, and you've said, hey, Mary Ann, or, hey, Marguerite, or hey, Benji, or, help me out now. I've procrastinated, and they've saved us both.
No doubt.
Us several times.
So Barry, I got a tear in my eye today. I just got to go ahead and confess.
Yeah, I don't know if I can make it through this segment. So y'all just, if I get all emotional, just.
This one kind of hurt. And I was tipped off to this by our man, Bill from Baltimore. And he actually sent a photo to back it up.
Oh, hang on. Tell me that.
At Longshore McKnight at gmail.com.
Okay,
if you'd like to email us, Longshore and McKnight at gmail.com. But
it's great.
Bill from Baltimore this morning says, I saw where Stephen Pearl and John Cohen before the Alabama game went around to the tent village and gave out smoothies. I went, there's no way. There's no way. Well, they sent a picture of it on our website. There's John Cohen with a big tray of what looks like strawberry smoothies. There's Stephen Pearl. He's got a big tray of them as well. Smoothie King is the logo on the cup. So I don't know.
They very solid. Very solid.
Not a girl getting a selfie with the coach. And, of course, the first thing I thought about, Barry, was Philip Marshall. He's the one that got that all started with multiple articles about the smoothies. Obviously, Barry, they're flush with cash because they're giving them away now. They limited smoothies back in the day, but not anymore. John Cohen has found a way to have endless, bottomless smoothies.
This is where I get all emotional.
Yeah.
Because in case you haven't, understand the impact of it all, this whole smoothie thing.
Yeah.
And believe me, nobody can make it a thing like John can make it a thing. Started with Philip Marshall.
It did.
And Philip reported one time, Philip, of course, it
was multiple times.
Yeah, he initially reported that Auburn was, what's the right thing to say, cutting down on smoothies?
Well, Barry, I think it was bus
Access
rides
to
back
smoothies.
from football team taking a bus back from Columbia, South Carolina, staying in cheap hotels and eating at Cracker Barrels. Something basic, something like that.
Well, he had heard about it, that, busing back from a football loss to South Carolina or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And that football players were limited at the old wellness center, the nutrition center, or whatever they got. It's over there, just kind of across from the baseball field, over there near Beard Eaves. They'd come there, down there to the smoothie bar.
Mm-hmm.
And, come down there 11 o'clock at night or something like that. And they'd say, no, man, you cut off. You cut off. No more for you.
Yeah, no more.
We heard from the owner that we're not to serve you anymore. And I didn't have a problem with it. I mean, guys are going down there, they're drinking smoothies like it's water. Hey, they take a couple of sips of it and they throw it away, and I'm good and all that kind of. That's wasteful,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Well, Philip didn't like it. He said something along the lines of, "You're a Division I FBS football program. Act like it," which really resonated with my co-host. And that's where the legend started.
Yes, it did.
Anytime anybody is caught with a smoothie or the remnants of a smoothie on the Auburn University campus, John is on it. He has people that will get photographic proof. There's something coming down. They got drones or something, and the Longshore operatives, and buzz behind somebody. Looks like a Colada Crush or something like that.
I just want to thank Bill from Baltimore. I really appreciate it. He's a very loyal viewer and listener to the program. He contributes quite a bit. And Bill, we really appreciate that. Good stuff.
I'm trying to get that on the screen.
But it was emotional because when I saw that, of course, I thought about Philip and his reporting about the smoothie issue at Auburn. Another question I got, Barry. I mean,
of course, I'm thinking, is there a smoothie issue?
Yeah.
Smoothie issue? There's an issue with the smoothies?
I'm thinking Saturday morning, it was quite cold outside. I mean, if you look at the picture, the girl's got a goose down jacket on. Pearl's got a jacket on. So does Cohen. What you handing out smoothies for? How about some hot chocolate? I mean, they're out there braving the elements to try to get into the whatever they call that place, the jungle or whatever. And I'm thinking,
you're never gonna win, people. You're never gonna win. They finally embraced the smoothie culture that John keeps talking about.
Yeah.
And now it's like, hey, it's cold outside. What do you give it a
smoothie when it's 20 degrees?
I can't.
Put some vodka in that thing. That's all I'm saying. Jeez.
You can't win. You cannot win. It does not matter.
Bill, I don't know how far you had to dig to find that. I mean, to me, that would have been something that our regional media would have picked up on. A little, happy piece. Hey, look at this. The AD's passing out smoothies before the game. I took our man Bill to dig that one up. We appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
This is why it's poignant, because in the past, Philip would have been on it. Philip would have been right there. But
maybe, Barry, maybe Smoothie King donated them because they are in Smoothie King cups. You would have thought they'd have had a cup with the Auburn logo on it that probably they have inside that wellness center or that new football building. Maybe Smoothie King just donated it to them. Didn't cost Auburn a dime.
So they're doing it on the cheap, is what you're saying. That's why they didn't have hot chocolate. They probably would have. Yeah. They probably would have.
Wow! Look at that nose.
Given them hot chocolate if somebody would have comped them. Yeah, that wasn't the original picture.
Pearl's got a sweatshirt and a jacket on. So does the young lady getting the selfie. These people are out in tents. I've never figured that out in my life. I mean, I hate that they spent the night out there, froze their tails off, and had to watch their team get beat. But
hey, would you like a frozen beverage?
That's the risk
Yeah.
you take. I wonder if Brian Matthews jumped in and got one of those smoothies. I'm going to ask him when he hops on with us here in a couple of minutes.
Jeez. Yeah,
That's a
we're gonna
good
have
pull. I like that. That's
There we go. Yeah, I was working
show the
hard. Yeah,
fans you
from my
love
hotel
them.
room.
Yeah, show the fans you love them, a little appreciation. Pizza gets old. I know there was a big thing they'd hand pizza out. So, pizza gets old. Do something different. Go smoothie. Yeah, I like it. Not a problem at all.
Yeah,
I don't know what time of
John
day that was that picture was taken. See, it was a 3 o'clock tip. If Pearl's out there that morning, that's probably pretty early. But hey,
well,
show the love. Barry, I'm looking for the positives. Show the love.
Yeah. What are you
Let
doing
your
giving out
fans-
smoothies? It's cold outside. Yeah, I hear you.
Yeah, you mean show
Auburn
the fans
hosts
how much you appreciate their dedication and support.
right now. Of course, Auburn plays tonight at home against Vanderbilt. Right now, within the Auburn Athletic Department, there's a basketball media guide saying, hey, Pizza Hut, cancel that order for tonight. Longshore says it's a bad look. It gets old.
Stay with the smoothies.
Yeah, let's go with the smoothies.
I
We'll
like
come
that.
back in a moment. We mentioned Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. The drumbeat gets louder from the fans. We are trying to give our viewers and listeners what they want. That means Brian next with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Phoenix Physical Therapy is ready to help patients recover, recharge, and rise. They develop a customized therapy plan for each patient to get them back to enjoying their favorite activities. Their experienced team is committed to providing exceptional care in a professional environment. Whether you're looking to prevent or treat an injury, recover from a recent illness, or recuperate from surgery, schedule an appointment with our clinic and take advantage of our physical therapy, athletic training, workers' comp, and employer solutions service. Experience elevated physical therapy today. Call Phoenix Physical Therapy at 239-9316. That's 239-9316.
You're not buying sticks, stems, and pine cones. You're buying premium long-needle pine straw from River Region Straw. Kenny and his staff have access to the best pine straw in the River region, full of color that will last all season long. Kenny has locations in Montgomery, Prattville, and Auburn, and no order is too big or too small, from a few bales to an 18-wheeler trailer load. Pickup is available, or your order can be delivered. They can even spread your pine straw if you like. So call or text Kenny today, 669-5959. That's 669-5959 for all of your pine straw needs. Okay, welcome back in, everybody. About 28 minutes to the top of the hour. We're glad you were with us, and we're glad our man Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, is with us as well. Hey, Brian, how's it going?
It's going great, guys. Good morning.
Good morning. What's the tone? What's the reverberation, if any, amongst the Auburn Nation about the Bediako ruling yesterday?
Oh, there's probably glee among Auburn people. I think, a lot of people, that don't like Alabama or just nationally did not support this move and were against it. And, felt like Alabama was getting one over on everybody, which maybe they did. But even if you don't agree with them doing that, this is the Wild West era of recruiting and player management and eligibility. There are no rules, or any rules that there are can be challenged in court. So I don't blame a university necessarily for pursuing any avenue they can to make their teams better. So, I mean, I'm able to see both sides of this, even if, this was maybe a step too far, for now. We'll see. But if somebody can come on here and explain me the difference between a pro player and a college player, I'd like to hear it.
I've never heard it quite put like that, but now that I think about it, I
know Auburn people don't want to hear me say that, but that's just the way I feel about.
Yeah, and these college kids are getting paid just like the pros are.
Yep, that's right.
Well,
so,
let's get to.
I'm sorry, Auburn fans, if they're mad at me.
Let's go to the actual competition. Auburn playing Alabama at home. Full house, the chance coming up from the student section, 10-point first half lead, doing a pretty good job defending the arc. And then in the second half, it all went south. What? Give us your take on that game and the reasons behind Auburn's loss.
Yeah, it really went south the final couple minutes of the first half, right? Auburn gave up that lead. Alabama made some big shots. Auburn had some defensive miscues, and that gave them a lot of momentum going into that second half, where they were able to score 59 points, out-rebound Auburn at Neville, which is unbelievable to me. I just thought it was a great performance by them. They made some tough shots, but also a really poor performance and a letdown for this Auburn team. They knew what they needed to do against a great Alabama team offensively. They needed to play with that high energy on defense. They did not do that the final 22 plus minutes of that game, and it cost them dearly in the end.
Brian, as you watch Auburn basketball, is there one thing you're looking for in a game to say, okay, they're clicking, this is what needs to happen, I like where they are right here? If you don't see something in particular, do you say to yourself, this could be tough? What are some things you look for early to that you want to see out of this team for them to be successful?
Well, one of the things I think that's a really good sign is if Auburn starts jacking up threes, and that's a recipe for disaster for this team. They shot more threes than Alabama did. Alabama made more threes, of course.
Yeah.
Auburn is the worst three-point shooting team in the conference. They're the worst three-point shooting defending team in the conference. So this is a really bad team from beyond the arc in both areas, and that is a area where they cannot afford to jack up a bunch of threes. So that's one sign. And then the other sign is, when Auburn's not playing with that energy and effort they have to play with defensively to win against good teams, you can just see it, right? You can see the other team getting the loose balls, playing with more passion and energy, hitting the boards, getting those offensive rebounds that Auburn needs to do. And that's what we saw the final 22 minutes against Alabama. And we'll see what shows up Tuesday night. This is a tough turnaround for Auburn, coming off a disappointing loss. They had a week to get ready for Bama, and now they're playing a Vanderbilt team which does some things offensively Auburn hasn't seen a whole lot of this season.
Well, one of the things that I've been looking at and really waiting for, and I thought I saw it on Saturday, and it would bode well. Tahad Pettiford played. I don't know why. He hasn't kind of had the same effect on a game as he had last year. As a freshman, he'd hit big shots and the game would come onto his shoulders and he would always find a way. He had 25 the other night, but I don't know. He doesn't look the same, Brian. What do you think?
He doesn't. I agree. I think there's been a lot of pressure put on him preseason, first team All-SEC, the one returning player expected to be a leader. And has really struggled for a good portion of this season, especially on the defensive end, especially on the playmaking end. I know he's worked hard to improve his playmaking. I think he had 7 assists against Alabama, which was definitely a step forward. He's playing a lot of minutes, too many minutes in my opinion, and that tends to lead to some mistakes late in game, turnovers, which can be costly. And then, I think the biggest thing with Tahad is he just hasn't taken a step forward defensively, just too many breakdowns. I think that's one of the reasons that Auburn is so poor defending the three is their perimeter defense, and unfortunately Todd is a big part of that. So he's just got to step it up on that end. It's tough to watch sometimes. I can tell there's frustration on his end and frustration on the coach's end with him. Auburn doesn't really have a lot of options at the point guard. He doesn't have anybody that's really doing an effective job backing him up right now, and that makes it really difficult on him.
Looking at the remainder of the schedule, you mentioned Vanderbilt tonight, early tip, 6:00. Auburn's lost their last 2, and they got a big Vanderbilt team ranked 19th coming in tonight. Then they've got a game at Arkansas after that. Mississippi State, Kentucky, Oklahoma, Ole Miss, LSU, Alabama. So certainly some challenging games remaining in the regular season.
Very challenging. I mean, you look at, I think Auburn could win every one of those games and lose. I just think that's this Auburn team, right? And it's a tough situation to be in. They can't just show up and overwhelm teams with their talent or the way they play. They have to show up with that extra energy and effort and out physical teams. And they can't do that enough right now, or consistently enough to win enough games to get out of this area where they are now, where you're not sure if they're going to finish with a winning record in the conference or where they're going to be come Selection Sunday yet. You just can't say that for sure. So this is a really challenging time for them. They need to step up and start winning some more games.
You wrote a piece at auburnsports.com where Stephen Pearl is looking to, find different combinations, maybe tweak the rotation a little bit. Kevin Overton has been the two guard. He's playing more minutes as a backup. The walk-on kid, whose name escapes me right now, had been
Blake Bushlight.
Muchalek, he had been, getting some minutes and giving some relief, but now they're experimenting with moving Overton over for a few minutes at the from the two guard to the point. Do you like that? Are there other changes, other tweaks that he's considering?
I think it's worth a try. I don't know how Overton's going to react if Vanderbilt presses him and he has to bring up the ball up the floor on his own. We'll see. That'll be something to watch. I think that will happen if Auburn does have him as a point. So they'll have to come up with some ideas for that, get him some help there. But I do like that, in that it gives Tahad a little bit more of a rest if they can do that, and gives Auburn an extra physical defender in there. Jovic only played 13 minutes against Alabama, which I thought was way too little. This guy has shown that he can do those things, play hard defense, guard, 1 through 5, get rebounds, score inside, do some things, play that scrappy kind of ball that Auburn needs to play. So they've got to get him more in the game. And with Keyshawn Murphy playing so well, Sebastian Adams-Williams, the freshman, playing so well, especially defensively, he's Auburn's best defensive player. They're having a hard time getting Jovic in the lead, but if they can in the game, but if they can move Sebastian up to the 3 spot and maybe move Keyshawn Hall up to the 2 spot, then they can slide Jovic in there at the 4. So that's one area that they're looking at, in addition to playing Overton KO at point some, and then we'll see if maybe some other guys get back in there and get some more minutes too. I know they're looking at some other combinations, possibilities. We'll see. Simon Walker is one of them.
Go ahead, John.
I was going to go to a football question. If you have another basketball.
No, please. No.
Turning to football, and I'll admit, I'll say this first and foremost. I've been burned by this before. But you've heard the phrase before, man, this kid looks good getting off the bus. And you just see a guy, go, man, he looks like a player. They've taken it down for some reason, because I saw it earlier this morning, but be that as it may, I saw a picture of Auburn quarterback Byram Brown decked out in full Auburn uniform. They were the away jerseys, had the white jersey on, the white pants, had a football in his hand, the whole deal. And the second I saw that picture, I went, man, this kid looks good getting off the bus. Big smile, great dental work. And I think, man, is he going to be as good as he looks?
Yes, maybe. We'll see. The biggest thing for me is I'm not sure that Auburn could have gone out and signed a better quarterback for them at this point in time, right? I'm just not sure it's possible. I'm not saying Byron Brown's the best quarterback in the country, but he's the best fit at Auburn right now with his knowledge of this offense and his previous work with his staff and his ability to step in and be that leader of the offense at quarterback, which they haven't really had in several years, more than several years now. And that's not to say Peyton or Jackson weren't great leaders. It's just, leading and winning and being successful on the field, all those things, tied in together. And that just hasn't been the case for Auburn at the quarterback position in quite a while. So, yeah, he could be really good for Auburn, really, really good. And that could be the most significant player addition that Auburn's had in, a half decade, potentially, or more. We'll see how that works out. He has to make that adjustment, right? Playing SEC, 9 SEC, games. And that's going to be different for him. But he does have his coaches around him. He has his receivers around him. He's got his running back. He's got 2 of his offensive linemen, a tight end. They did a great job of bringing a bunch of those guys here. So even we don't know that the running back or the tight end is going to start from USF, but we know they're going to be here and they're going to be leaders in those rooms and help the other guys come along as far as being a part of this program under Alex Golish. So I think he's a great addition. And, I think there are reasons for optimism if you're an Auburn fan and you're looking at this offense on paper.
But there's also reasons for being a little gun shy as well, because
5 years of reasons. Yeah.
He could come in. I mean, Lamar Jackson could come in right now, and all the fans would be like, I don't know, Peyton Thorne and Jackson Arnold, a couple of swings and misses and everything. I'm going to have to wait and see. I mean, I can understand why some people are thinking, let me just wait on him.
I'm a big eye test guy. And this guy's passing the eye test for me so far.
You said the same thing about Brandon Cox, though, John.
I did.
Handsome guy. He ought to be good.
Good-looking kid, yeah.
Brandon Cox 3-0 against the Tide, by the way, and was a very good player. Yeah.
Yes, he was. Yes, he was.
I was on the field, Brian. I don't know if it was at Jordan Hare.
My
Brian
gosh.
Denny. I can't remember where the game was, but Brandon Cox is coming off the field. He put a gallant effort in. He's all sweaty, got this curly dark hair. And I just mentioned on Monday, I said, well, Barry, I was on the field when Auburn left, and Brandon Cox walked right by me. I said, he's a good-looking kid.
John never lived that down
I
afterwards.
fought hell for that. I said, whoa, wait a minute.
I'm sorry if me and John both found Brandon Cox a handsome young man. That's sorry. We apologize.
Yeah. Let's go back let's take another trip down memory lane way back when. I was the radio play-by-play voice for Auburn baseball for 7 years, something like that. Hal Baird was the coach.
Yes.
And when I got started at Old Plainsman Park, it was a big prefabricated mobile home press box up there.
I believe you can find that on the soccer field still today. If you miss it, you can go sit in it.
So they rotated. I think that entire set of aluminum stands. They took all of it over. They didn't even detach the press box. They just moved it all over.
They need to put up a plaque and put this is the Barry McKnight broadcast booth.
Yes, they do. They
do have my picture in the gymnastics building, although I don't.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, but I've seen pictures of the new renovation of the new Hitchcock Field at Plainsman Park and everything, and holy smokes, Brian, goodness gracious, they did that press box like they should have done the press box at Jordan Hare Stadium. It looks great, man.
Yeah, unfortunately, it's so far down the right field line, it's hard for me to see what's happening in the game. So I refuse to praise any changes to press boxes that pulled me so far out of the action. I cannot tell what's going on.
I was going to ask you about that because I've seen the pictures, and of course I've been at Plainsman Park, although Troy doesn't play Auburn this year, and it is way.
By the way, Brian, they could also ramp up the food choices too, but it's just me. I mean, they're going to be giving out free food. Can it at least be something edible?
Yeah. But it's been a 2-year renovation for Auburn baseball. They finished it up just I guess yesterday with the building right across the street is the coaches' offices, and they put in meeting rooms and updated the weight room and did some things over there that's just been completed. Last year, they put in the 984 Club, I think it is, upstairs, which is right next to the press box. Beautiful area. They got the Frank Thomas Hall of Fame Club down below. They got the extra seating all over the place, and really, really nice venue. And I think this team's going to be pretty good too, especially offensively. They got a really exciting lineup they're going to be able to put on the field with a lot of depth too.
I was going to ask you about that because the fabled Penguins of Youngstown State come in for a 3-game series starting on Friday. And you look at the pre-conference schedule, they play a tournament in Arlington, Texas. They've got Nebraska coming in for 3 games. You got Cincinnati. And before you even start conference play, Butch Thompson, it looks like he's embracing some of those lofty preseason expectations nationally.
Yeah, and the schedule, if you go back to last year, the reason Auburn got such a high national seed was because of that non-conference schedule they played a year ago, and they tried to do that again, match that again. So we'll see how that works out. Sometimes, you pick a team you think is going to be the best team in this group of 5 league, but sometimes it doesn't work out. So we'll see. But it should be another challenge for Auburn. Really like this team offensively. I think they've got a lot of depth and the pitching staff. They just got to find the right guys in the right places. If they can do that, this team could be one that challenges all the way to Omaha. So it should be another exciting year at Plainsman Park.
I might be showing my ignorance here, but what is the significance of the 984 club?
That's how many, and I think I got that right. I get those numbers mixed up sometimes, but I think that's how many miles it is from Auburn to Omaha.
Oh,
so
wow.
That's pretty good way to do it. So, I hope I got the numbers right. Somebody's gonna post on here. I got them wrong, but
that's kind of cool. Yeah, I was thinking something else, but hey, okay, I like that. Auburn to Omaha, 984.
It's not the 69 club.
No, none of that.
Or the 1716 club or something like that. Yeah.
That sounds like a lot of fun. Yeah.
You know, there used to be a bar in Auburn called the Block Punt Lounge. I think it was over there by the Supper Club. I'm showing my age now.
This is even before Brian and my time over there.
Yeah, it was, right. I remember the movie pub back in the day.
Boy, we could go on for the entire show going back on some of that stuff. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com. There is a lot of things going on, even though football is in kind of a dead period right now. How do people access everything that you guys crank out?
Yeah, and speaking of football, we're going to talk to the offensive assistants today and defensive assistants tomorrow, like a round table. So we'll have a lot of information, news out of that, and baseball starting, basketball ongoing, softball, all that and more. auburnsports.com. You can follow me on Twitter, /X at BMATAU.
Yep, Barry McKnight here with 2 charter members of the Brandon Cox fan club. Appreciate you, Brian. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Brian. Appreciate that. Brian Matthews, auburnsports.com, joining us each and every Tuesday. We greatly appreciate that. Great insight about Auburn athletics. Barry, are you buying this from Way Offsides, Jeff? Do you believe this?
If Bama signed a quarterback from a directional school that finished 4th, my man Longshore would be eviscerating Bama. Let's see.
Probably,
this guy, though,
Probably. I mean, all I mentioned was it's a good-looking kid. It was a great picture. Got his away uniform on, got a ball in his hand, got a big smile. I mean, a dentist would be proud of that smile. I mean, what a grill. And I thought, man, this kid really looks good. Looks nice in his uniform. Now, can he back it up with his play on the field? Well, only time will tell. God, who does that say?
Now I'm going to start. The tears are going to start flowing now. Oh, my gosh. Only time will tell.
Only time will tell. Can Auburn be good this year? I don't know.
Philip Marshall, a nation. Lonely eyes to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well. While many of you during the commercial break will be quickly searching the Alabama roster to see if they've got any quarterbacks from directional schools, we will take a break.
Yep.
When we come back, we got a little bit more to close out the hour, but then we've got Travis Ryer from Ryer on YouTube coming up. It's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Known by avid golfers as one of the most beautiful and challenging stops on the Robert Trent Jones Golf Trail, Cambrian Ridge in Greenville lies just 40 miles from Montgomery. It is well worth the ride for any golfer looking for 27 holes of jaw-dropping golf. The greens have been redesigned to accommodate the higher green speeds associated with their installation of the latest generation of ultra-dwarf Bermuda grass. Cambrian Ridge offers a fully stocked pro shop with all the latest equipment and apparel. Great food and beverages in the clubhouse can be enjoyed both before and after your round. Get your group together and hit the trail. Go to rtjgolf.com/Cambrian Ridge for tee times and more information.
It doesn't matter if you're running drills at the park, playing pickup on a Saturday, or sinking the final putt. When you compete with your friends with Michelob Ultra on the line, competition isn't that friendly. The trash talk, next level. And the stakes, those are crystal clear. With only 95 calories and superior smooth taste, it's the ultimate trophy. Superior is worth playing for. Michelob Ultra, superior light beer. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025, Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and $25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Victoryland Casino is located off I-85, exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
Okay, $25K and a BMW giveaway out at Victoryland. The more you visit, the better your chances of winning. Head on out there where you can be a winner too at Victoryland in Shorter, Alabama. Ooh, there's Barry. I can't hear him. There we go.
There's an ongoing battle with our microphones. The show today, John is in his main studio. I am in some. Yep, I am network control. I don't know where John heard that. It was either
it was Airplane or Airplane 2.
I thought it was Dr. No, but network control.
Yeah.
Like he's got a full bank of knobs and buttons and flashing and beeping and everything. No. I'm in San Marcos, Texas. Yeah, Plainsman Preston, you're about right. This is what? Show number 365, according to the top left. So we're like have a show every day. We've got, you can go back and you can watch one every day for an entire year, and it would be different. And I've been on remote probably at about 18 different places, several places twice. Here in the studio, my basketball roommate, Jeff, great roommate, because he gets up when I get up and he doesn't, he's not sitting back there snoring or anything like that. But we are cognizant of this. I'm traveling with Troy men's basketball. They play tomorrow. We got in yesterday, ate dinner. Then we sat down and we watched the majority of that Kansas-Arizona game last night. Arizona was undefeated, 23 wins, had tied the Big 12 record for winning streak. They could have won again. Kansas was 18-5. They were playing without their star, Darrell Peterson. They were at Fog Allen Arena in Lawrence, Kansas. Arizona leading significantly early, but Kansas comes roaring back. Kansas beats Arizona, first loss of the season for Arizona. I think Miami of Ohio is the only undefeated team left, and they've played a very weak non-conference schedule. And I'm just here to tell you, I loved that game last night. I mean, Arizona is still probably going to be number one in the country, even with the loss. They are all that. Holy smokes. Kansas, playing without their best player, still scores 82 against the number one team in the country. We are talking about this, and I respect the grind. Auburn and Alabama, the value of getting out there every game and putting it on the line, and the value of competition, and the team aspect of it, and having the fans excited about both schools and everything. They ain't in the Kansas and Arizona class, John. We can, talking about all of this is great because, I just love I just love getting out there and watching them play, and it's a diverting way, and I love sports and all that. To me, unlike some people, it's not all about, well, if you don't win the national championship, your season's an absolute waste of time. But let me tell you, Auburn and Alabama, they ain't in the same stratosphere as Arizona.
No doubt.
I'm just telling you, that was, if you're sitting there getting all worked up about, Betty Yako this, or Tahad Pettiford that, or Stephen Pearl or Nate Oates, they ain't beating Arizona and Kansas in the postseason.
Well, no, and I don't think they're beating Illinois and Michigan and some of these other teams that they played in the preseason either. I saw that early, that this is just a different style of basketball that Auburn and Alabama are playing compared to these teams that we've mentioned. They got big guys that can move you out of the paint, that can rebound, that can shoot. They got speedy guys too.
They can run with you. Yeah.
Those teams are head and shoulders above other teams. And I don't, Barry, I don't think there's any team in the SEC that's going to challenge for the national championship.
There may be in the SEC somebody that gets hot, like that year that Auburn went to the Final Four for the first time. That was a surprise to a lot of people because they got hot. The win over North Carolina, the win over Kansas and all that. Florida is the defending champion, and they're probably the best team in the league. They're in the top right now by a half game over Kentucky. So you still got Florida, you still got Kentucky, you've still got Arkansas. But even then, Florida, their front court is really, really good, but they're not as deep as Arizona. They're not as well-rounded as Arizona. So Florida may go deep, but take a look. Take a look what we're talking about. When John and I talk about, these two teams may have taken a step back and all that. Goodness knows they lost a lot of good players over the last couple of years. Well, how can you say that? They look pretty good to me. What Auburn and Alabama have done, I think Alabama is rated as having the second strongest schedule in strength of schedule in the country. Alabama has played anybody who'll play them. Auburn is like number 4 or 5 in terms of that. So they've played those teams. You should have a good idea where they stack up with those teams. Whew. But you want to watch what we're talking about? Well, how can you say they're not going to win the national championship? Well, look at Arizona and Kansas last night. That's what the absolute creme de la creme look like this year. And
Tobias, I'm with you. Arizona losing that game is the best thing that can happen to them. What do you mean by that? I think teams need a loss that are really, really good. I remember it happened to a Kentucky team that Rick Pitino coached, and they went on to win the national championship. So, I think in this long college basketball regular season and postseason, certainly you don't want to lose in postseason, but, losing can kind of get the reset button going. It kind of grounds you a little bit to make that run. Also, Dennis, I can answer that question.
Let's give you this. Dennis Mitchell, he's busy. John and Barry, I'm glad North Dakota State is joining the Mountain West Conference. John and Barry, you're going to be at Marguerite's this Friday or not? I'm going to be in Hattiesburg, Mississippi, and John's going to be at Stivers in Prattville. Coach Ed says, please answer Dennis before he goes Burrhead Jones on you. And then later on here it goes, boom, please answer my questions. Thank you. Dennis,
we have the answer for you, Dennis. It's no, we will not. But please go by Marguerite's for your Valentine's gifts. Extended hours. They're open 10 to 5:30, 7 days a week, but Friday and Saturday this week of Valentine's, they'll open early at 8 a.m. So go by and get all of your Valentine's gifts and that special gift for that really special Valentine in your life. Marguerite's certainly will have it for you. Okay. Our man Travis Ryer on YouTube. Barry, he's going to join us here, I believe, after we take a quick time out.
It's the second live hour of Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years, and heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand, or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Hey, where's the beer guy? Bud Light here? You got a Bud Light? Bud Light? I'm here, Bud Light. Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light here? Bud Light where? Bud Light here? Oh, Bud Light there. I missed that because of you. You did not miss that play because of me. Tough to stop talking this way? Yeah. It's actually kind of fun. Hey, I got you, Bud Light. Oh, nice. Never mind. Anything for the clean, crisp taste of Bud Light. What I miss? I have no idea.
All guests of Longshore McKnight appear on the City of Montgomery guest hotline. Check out the most interesting and informed personalities in sports covering Auburn, Alabama, Troy, ASU, and all the major teams from across the country. John and Barry have the best guests brought to you by the City of Montgomery. To find out everything you need to know that is going on in the capital city, check out montgomeryal.gov. That's montgomeryal.gov, the capital of dreams.
Okay, welcome back in, everybody. A couple of minutes past the top of the hour. Our man Travis Ryer on YouTube, joining us as he does each and every Tuesday. Travis, how you doing today?
I'm great. How are you guys?
We're doing really well. We have we're envisioning what the court process was yesterday or the day before in the Charles Bediako case, when people have these long legal descriptions of, non juris mentis or all of this kind of stuff. And the whole case comes down to me, if I'm the Alabama legal team, to just call Travis Ryer up there and have him say what he told us when we asked him about the Bediako case. And Travis said, to me, a pro's a pro. And that has resonated in my mind the whole time. I don't think it's a good precedent or anything like that, Travis, but you brought that up and kind of crystallized the whole issue for a lot of people. Are you surprised at the outcome of that thing?
Only because the NCAA in these type of situations of late have been the equivalent of the Washington Generals.
Yeah.
So it was in some ways almost like, the Globetrotters, their crescendo half-court set, that they would end all their games with before winning by a bucket. It's like they turned it over and the Generals got a run out on them to win, one of those rare occasions in that series. But we shouldn't be surprised, right? I mean, that's probably the biggest surprise, is that we are surprised a little bit that the NCAA actually came out on top. And I still believe what I said about pros. So my question for the NCAA or the courts, maybe more so, is, okay, where are we headed with all the other pros that are still in college sports, in college basketball specifically?
Well, I'm with you, Travis, because, I know they're talking about, he played college ball and he signed an NBA deal. I totally understand that. But a pro is a pro, whether you're playing in China or Europe or wherever it may be. There are players in college basketball currently that have been paid that are still playing college basketball.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. And Alabama has seen those type of situations on the other side more often than not this season. So I think that goes back to Nate Oates' stance that he's not for this current situation. It's not that he's a proponent for it, but if you're going to provide that avenue for coaches, that possibility that they can get eligibility for folks like Bediako and Najee of Baylor and other guys out there, they're going to pursue it. And that's why, all due respect to Dick Vitale and some of the old heads that we hear on college basketball broadcasts, the coaches should do the right thing and just abide by the rules. Well, Dick hadn't coached in half a century, okay? If Dick Vitale coached right now, you going to tell me if he had a 7-foot practice player that could maybe work through that avenue and become eligible? Come on, give me a break.
Travis, I said it during the entire deal. If it goes Bediako's way, you're going to see a lot of men's college basketball teams grabbing players that you never heard of that'll be on their roster by the weekend.
Yeah, you're already seeing it. I mean, the precedent had been set. Now, this is almost the way some of the national outlets and Voices and X accounts have portrayed this, is that this was Alabama setting a precedent. I guess in terms of he had already played and went pro and then was coming back, I guess.
Right.
But,
that's the
thing. To me, it's semantics.
Yeah.
I go back to what I believe. And I don't think any of them should have been playing. Any of the pros previously should have been eligible. Bediako and the rest of them. So I'm not advocating for Bediako to be eligible. I'm just saying this certainly hasn't been an isolated situation with Alabama or exclusive to Alabama.
But Alabama has been the focal point of all of this. Now that it's all said and done, and I guess it's over, there's no appeal to this. Bediako is done playing college basketball with the disruption or with his presence in the middle of the SEC schedule on the roster and at practice, and with the negative publicity and with a 3-2 record while he was there. If you're looking at it from Nate Oates' perspective, was it all worth it, Travis?
Well, you got a road win, a huge road win Saturday at Auburn, and and he was very impactful in that game. I don't know if they win that game without Charles Bediako. That being said, I don't think the ceiling for this team changes as much as maybe some other folks do. Obviously, depth in the post takes a huge hit. You've got Aiden Sherrill. If there was one individual who was quietly maybe happy about this situation yesterday, it might have been Noah Williamson, another post player for Alabama, because he had seen his minutes slashed with Bediako in there. He had become kind of a 6 or 7 minutes a game kind of guy. So you got to think he's got to step forward or step back up. He really been just okay coming in as a transfer. Seems in some ways like the step up the SEC basketball has been at times a little much for him. There's been flashes of some positivity from him, but you got to have him at this point because you still got some injuries too that you're working through. But as far as how far this team can go, I still think that's largely about 2 or 3 guys. I mean, LeBaron Philon, as he showed you again at Auburn, is at the top of that list. He is. We talk about pros playing college basketball. He is a very high-level pro. You still got to have Aiden Holloway healthy. You got to have that duo together, and they've got to be very productive. And with Reitzel now, I don't know how much you can really count on him, but Amari Allen, I'd say it's kind of 3 guys for this team in terms of how far it can go, and it's Philon for me, it's Holloway, and Amari Allen, and then you get more into the situation in the block.
I wonder if there are any players in Europe or China right now that Nate Oates could bring in, because it seems like that's that's free open season right now. You can go get whoever you want.
It feels like it. Yeah, I mean, as long as they're over there, right?
Now, wouldn't that be
they could be making $2 million in China, but that's okay.
Wouldn't that be interesting if well, I don't think they could get them ready for Ole Miss tomorrow, but maybe the weekend game. Hey, Bama's just added a guy from China on their roster. He's a 7-footer, and he'll be ready to go on Saturday.
Yeah, maybe Luka Doncic has a brother or a cousin or something over there that you can get in quickly. But no, I mean, they kind of are who they are.
Yeah.
They still have a specific opponent that is going to eventually knock them out, and because we've already seen it, and I think that's with or without Bediako, and I think and it's still high-level teams. I'm not saying that they are extremely upset prone. They could be, but Arizona with that size gave them fits. Gonzaga, same thing. Those type of teams, that's going to be their kryptonite ultimately. And they're going to need those guards to just – and going into March, you'd rather – if you had to pick, I mean, guards are who you want that time of year.
Looking at the schedule, Travis, I mean, they win at Auburn – or they beat A&M at home, beat Auburn. They got Ole Miss tomorrow night, which certainly looks winnable. South Carolina this weekend that looks winnable. Arkansas's at home, certainly winnable. LSU – winnable. Mississippi State. I mean, they're going through a stretch of games here, Travis, that, let's face it, they're going to be favorites in every one of them.
Yeah, after all this has been said and done, they're sitting there at 6-4 in the league, and as you outlined, favorable matchups in the upcoming game.
Ooh, I think we lost Travis there.
Uh-oh, yeah.
We'll try to reestablish it there.
Didn't think about it at the time. But those
Yeah, I think we lost Travis. He's going to reestablish contact with it. It sounded like he was going over some big bridge there in Jacksonville.
Yeah,
What's
it might have been the
bridge
Bucking
there?
Bridge. Who that?
There he is. There he is.
The rivers always get me.
Yeah, that's true.
Metal, Travis, that's what gets you.
Now, I got to ask you this because Travis Ryer on YouTube, they handle so many things. Fried chicken sandwich ratings, chicken salad ratings and all that, so many different things. I had to look this up. I'm interested in your take on the Super Bowl, particularly. Don't you think the Jacksonville Jaguars are kind of approaching their roster and their organization like the Seahawks did? But mostly, I wanted to look and see. I had to look what a glizzy was.
Yeah.
They're breaking down the game and everything. Travis is commenting on Patriots quarterback Drake May saying, "I'm a golfer, so I appreciate a glizzy at the turn." And I'm thinking,
I'm not anti-glizzy or hot dog at the turn. The biggest positive about the hot dog at the turn is it's quick. You can get it. You're in a hurry a lot of times between 9 and 10.
Yeah.
You're trying to stay in your place there with pace of play. And that hot dog, it takes 20 seconds to grab it. I'm still chicken salad guy at the turn, but if you like the bread toasted, it's a little bit of a time-consuming exercise. That to me is the redeeming quality of the glizzy.
Now, what is a glizzy?
See, I had to look it up. It's a hot dog.
Hot dog. It's a hot dog. Yeah, I know that because I've got 3 kids under the age of 30. So, and I paid for almost all of their glizzy.
Their expertise comes at a great price. That's for sure. From Dad out there. What your thoughts on the Super Bowl?
Seahawks kind of did it the way they did it all year. It felt like there was really only one team that could score enough to really maybe put Seattle in an uncomfortable position, and that was the Rams.
Right.
And so once they took out the Rams, with New England set up on offense currently, still a young quarterback, very good young quarterback in Drake May. But you did worry about that offensive line, not just Will Campbell either. And I know in retrospect, it was a rough night for the former LSU standout. But they were bad across the board. And that goes back to Seattle. They just had a dominant defense. Seattle beat the Jags here in Jacksonville pretty much the same way they did the Patriots. It was like a jiu-jitsu specialist in chokeouts. It wasn't a question of if, it was just how long was I going to have to, go through this guillotine or whatever that I found myself in. And that's essentially what happened to the Patriots. And, they sped Drake May up from the start. And Kenneth Walker can flat out run the rock. Lines of scrimmage, it still wins. I know as much as we try to make it about everything else, if you're the better team up front, you're still going to win pretty much all the time.
Yeah, you're not kidding. Offensive, defensive line, big part of success. I kind of quiet on the football front, but were you hearing anything? What's shaking out of the Malmore building?
Well, we talked about this on Talking Tide Sunday with Chase Goodbread, and I am not Mr. Negativity. It's certainly not as much as I used to be, or cynical guy as I used to be. But it's been interesting because here comes the positivity talk again from Alabama football. I mean, we hear from Ryan Grubb and, boy, Cedarian Morgan, E.J. Crowell, going to be on the field early, going to be impactful. Got you thinking maybe Julio and Mark Ingram coming in together in 2008.
Yeah.
And I respond to all that with let's see. Let's see it at this point. So
Travis is Missouri, as he has said before.
I am. I'm very much show me state when it comes to that. And I think the Alabama fan base is probably the same way. I get it. I mean, it's what you want, the sort of vibe and energy around your program to be, especially with the way it ended out in Pasadena.
Yep.
But we've heard that the defense, they feel great about what they were able to do in the transfer portal. That secondary brings, obviously, a lot of key parts back. They brought a lot of key parts back last year, and I thought they were okay. I thought they were good at times. But they also had some guys that I thought took steps back as starters. So development, that's the ultimate deal right now. They're kind of balling on a budget with their payroll, so to speak. So their evaluations for what they're getting have to be really, really good. Part of me that worries about that is, how much did Chris Kapilovic evaluate all these transfer OLs?
Mm-hmm.
And then he's gone, So I would think that Ryan Grubb, with his offensive line background, probably had the most to do with that. Courtney Morgan gets it too when it comes to offensive line play. But that was kind of interesting to me. With all the turnover they had on the offensive line, where did the evaluations come from? So evaluation and expeditious player development in this era.
Whoa.
Travis, I don't want to hear.
Did that sound like Mark Jones in the Jam Posse?
Love it.
Nicely done.
Travis, speaking of evaluations, I don't want to hear evaluations from former SEC football players that played at Alabama and other schools in this league going to practice in early August and reporting that, this team looks awesome. I'm telling you, everything I'm seeing about them looks great. And
I don't
then
think
they lose to
about
Florida State and drop a couple by 17 and 21 as the season rolls on. What are they seeing that I didn't? I don't want to hear that again.
Yeah, I don't think you'll hear that from Reggie Ragland. So Reggie.
Excellent.
I don't think he's going to be that guy. And look, it goes both ways with the player, the ex-player feedback.
Yeah.
You got some guys that just so full of Bama, it doesn't really matter. It's going to be positive. And then you got guys like Reggie that, are, I think, much more in that wait and see camp, especially after the way things ended in 2025. And, look, if we're fair to the current guys, some of those ex-players, it's like they forget that we remember too. Like, I remember that defense with Reggie Ragland and Trey DePriest and Zeke Elliott ripping them in the Sugar Bowl on the ground. I remember that, So it kind of goes both ways. Yeah, I think that's kind of where it's at with the program right now is I think a lot of people are going to be taking that approach no matter what they hear coming out of Tuscaloosa.
Travis Ryer on YouTube, thousands of subscribers, tons of followers on Twitter, and I'm loving the new kart golf. You mentioned Talking Tide and Second Helping and everything. How do people get involved, and what are the plans for the near future on the YouTube channel?
Yeah, we had Talking Tide Sunday. It was the alternative pregame show we billed it as. We had the options for halftime. We had the pregame show, but it was Alabama talk with Chase Goodbread, and then we also we did have kart golf last night with Casey Smith. That was a lot of fun talking about Chris Gotterup and his latest win on the PGA Tour.
Yeah,
and you know what else we're gonna have? I'm gonna get this up in the next. We have a fried fish sandwich review.
I saw, you've branched out a little bit. It's not just chicken salad sandwich.
Yeah.
I have, number one, I agree with you about the Hyde Park Golf Course on West Side.
Yeah.
The Palms Fish Camp, you went out into the field for some fried fish sandwich research. You are there working for the people, Travis.
It's
Travis,
great.
is it? Do you go tartar sauce or cocktail sauce?
Well, we talk about that.
Yeah.
We get into that.
Nice.
We go with a triple crown, we call it. Some tartar, some cocktail with some Louisiana hot sauce on there too.
Beautiful.
And
beautiful.
this was 4 fillets of freshly caught Northeast Florida flounder that was cooked to perfection, perfect bun. I'll get it up on the YouTube. I know there are literally dozens of people anxiously awaiting that video.
I've got to see it. I'm a big.
Oh yeah.
I got a double basket deep fryer, Travis. Man, it is so good.
There you go.
I got to come clean before we let you go. It just hit me when Barry asked you about golf, and we're all around the same age, and I just got to come clean. I was on a buddy golf trip a couple of weeks ago. Some bunch of my friends went out and played 4 or 5 days, and I threw out the suggestion, Travis. One guy in your group's just got to take the bullet. I said, fellas, why don't we move up a tee box? I think we'd enjoy our golf a lot better.
For you. Yeah.
Oh, it was a difference maker, Travis. I'm telling you. I mean, move
you
up
hated to do it, though, right?
I hated to do it.
That, though, is the cart person, the cart attendant, because when you have a better time, you drink less beer. You know,
true.
When you're when you're struggling, you're gonna get to the sauce quicker and with more fervor.
Well, I don't know in this group if this group I was with that actually was the case. But I hear what you're saying.
You're not quality of play dependent, I guess.
No.
They call it swing oil.
Yeah. I hear you. No, I preach that all the time. I mean, play it forward.
Yes.
I got friends that can't break 90, and they're back there where they're so far back you could pee off the back of the tee box.
Yeah, I'm thinking, swallow your pride and move up a tee box.
What pride, though? What pride? What pride is there? You know what? I told my buddy, I said, guys, they're sitting on Golf Channel. This isn't.
This is just us, okay?
Live. They don't have our scores on the ribbon on the bottom of the screen all day. So nobody. It's like fantasy football. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Other than you about your score. Nobody cares about your golf score. Nobody cares about your fantasy football team. Right? All right.
Love it. Beautiful.
Yeah.
There's so much information today, from fried fish to moving up tee boxes. Where else are you going to get this info?
Well, where do you get this info? It's Ryer on YouTube. Travis Ryer also on social media at Travis Ryer. Travis, great to talk with you. Look forward to talking with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thanks, guys.
Thank you, buddy. Travis Ryer on YouTube, talking Tide, as he joins us each and every week. Man, the fried fish sandwich series, Barry, that's something I'm looking forward to.
Yep, looking forward to the Phantom's Daily Dog, although we're already halfway through our second hour without a commercial break.
Listen, how about this one, Barry? Travis goes long, 27 minutes.
Yep. So we got to catch up.
We go, got to take a break.
As is usually the case.
Got to take a break.
This is always the death knell of any sort of structure to this program. John says, before we let you go, and I'm thinking, okay, here we go.
Barry, I felt I had to come clean. I mean, that's a part of a golfer's life that, you let it go, you release it, and you feel a lot better. Did I catch some ribbing from my buddies? Yes. Did some of them say, not participating, I'm staying back here? I said, go for it. A couple of other buddies said, you're on to something. Let's do it.
This ain't the Golf Channel. This, ain't nobody got your score on a scroll underneath there. Just do like Boone says. The point is just to relax and have a good time. Maybe that was all. I
never knew, Barry, that like a 300 to 400 yard difference over 18 holes could really make my golf round more enjoyable, but it did.
Yeah, your back doesn't hurt by 15. Longshore and McKnight, in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Divers Ford of Montgomery is ranked top 100 in the nation for 8 consecutive years. With deals like these, it's no wonder why. F-150s for 16 grand off, or Lariat 4x4s for under 56 grand. And Super Duties, 12 grand off.
Divers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Divers Ford of Montgomery is ranked top 100 in the nation for 8 consecutive years. With deals like these, it's no wonder why. Broncos for 12 grand off. Bronco Sports for 10 grand off. And Explorers for under 31 grand or 10 grand off.
Divers Ford, where price sells Fords.
Hey, bro, weirdest thing is happening at the game. This guy sitting next to me says, you're our good luck charm. Every time I crack a Bud Light, we score a touchdown. Now his entire family wants to buy me Bud Lights. I think I'm some kind of a football prophet. Talk soon. The team needs me.
Anything for Bud Light, the official beer sponsor of the NFL. Stock up today. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2025 Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
At Dixie Overhead Door, we specialize in top-quality garage door solutions for homes across Alabama and Georgia. In need of a garage door repair or a brand new garage door installation, our expert team delivers fast, reliable service with local expertise that you can trust, providing customized solutions and exceptional care every step of the way. Visit us today at DixieOverheadDoor.com and experience the Dixie difference.
Alrighty, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us. Barry will join us here momentarily. Maybe had to slip off to the men's room. Who knows? Or get another. Well, he doesn't drink coffee. I was about to say maybe getting another coffee. Look at that. Barry made his bed up. You know, it's not all messed up and sheets and pillows everywhere. Good job on spreading that bed, making it up today. That looked good.
Yeah, it's see, my bed's right here. I always, you know, you get up, you don't make it up. What I always try to get a good background. It's not a great background here at the Fairfield Inn, like over there near the window or something. We've been places where it's really good. But yeah, doing the show on the road, that's one of the things about it. I mean, you know, for all those years, John and I were on radio together, and I was still on the road a lot. Now we're on TV, you know, or on video, and I'm on video, and I've got my, you know, cap, and I've got my nice dresser. John, the technology is such, it is a ton easier to be on the air, on remote, in this format, as it turns out, as back in the old days, whenever I had to get the telephone out. And for those youngsters who don't know a telephone, you know, I'd had to get the telephone out, and I'd had to hook it in there, and you had to make the phone call, and it cost and everything. This is pretty easy. I mean, there's so many things about this format and this medium that, you know, it's all technology. The technology has advanced to where it's really easy right now. But, man, I wish we had done this a long time ago.
Woo, boy, you are not kidding. It is a lot less stressful, I would say, in being able to hook this up.
Well, speaking of stressful,
I'm impressed with the bed, Bear. I'll share a quick story with you. One of my boys left to go to school a couple of days ago, and I happened to look into his room, and I texted him. I said, "Come home immediately." He said, "Well, I'm in school." And I said, "Well, I know you get breaks and y'all can leave throughout the day. Come make this damn bed up." Because I've told him 100 times, don't leave without making the bed up. Nothing worse than walking into a room and looking at an unmade bed. Drives me crazy.
There was a keynote speaker, and I'm a maniac about this. I get up just a little bit earlier than Dee does, you know, to do the show. And Dee's an early riser. And whenever I wake up after her, like on the week, I always make up the bed. There was a guy, and I think I've told this story before. He was a keynote speaker, a military guy at a commencement exercise at Texas A&M. And he's telling the students, you know, you got to be disciplined in your daily habits, which I believe in, which John believes in. Start off your day. I always start off the day, make your bed.
Yeah.
Make your bed. You know, number one, it's the discipline of getting up and doing something productive. And when you're done, you may have a terrible day, but at least you've accomplished something. I've made up my bed. It gives you that. That's the way I always feel about it. Make it up, you know.
I caught a lot of crud.
Okay, I've made up my bed. I've accomplished something today. Let me get after my day.
Now, I caught a lot of crud in college back in the 80s when my buddies would go, I can't believe Longshore made his bed up. Now, I will admit, Barry, my technique is I tucked it real tight at the end where your feet are. So when I woke up in the morning, I just pulled the sheet up tight, like right to my chin. Smoothed it, and I kind of wiggled out the side of the bed. And I just kind of smoothed it and fluffed up the pillows. It's not like I went to the full hotel bed makeup. But you're right. You walk back in the room, you see an unmade bed, you kind of go, this guy's a slob.
Yeah, this is disappointing for sure. So John and I are,
seen Gurn Senior's bedroom when we were in college. Woo!
Ooh, tell some stories.
Oh,
Tell some stories.
he had a Minute Bowl, full-size poster of Minute Bowl.
Who was 7'7", played in the. He's no longer with us.
And then it went up the ceiling because it wouldn't fit on the wall all the way. Minute Bowl hanging in his bedroom at our apartment in school.
You had that Farrah Fawcett, right? No, anyway, different stuff.
Yeah.
Different. All right, here we go.
Yeah, here we go. All right.
You talk about stressful, stressful time, Fandom's been pretty stressful here and there.
Oh, yeah, it's just been tough today, Barry. We talked about the Charlotte Hornets yesterday that were on a 9-game winning streak. 9 games.
Yeah.
And the Detroit Pistons had won their last game and had a couple of nights to rest and relax. Maybe that was the difference. But they went into Charlotte last night and beat the Hornets 110-104.
Yeah.
In the 3.5 that the Hornets were getting, just not enough to get over the number. So took it on the chin last night.
But
you asked me, I don't know if it's the Spectrum Center. I do remember the 76ers played at the Spectrum.
Yeah, the Spectrum. Yeah. Back in the old
I think it's
Andrew
the Spectrum
Toney.
Arena, or it's something.
It is a Spectrum. If the 76ers played at the Spectrum, that's what it was called.
Yeah,
this is the Spectrum Center. And that wasn't even the big story in this one. They had a huge brawl, actually a couple of brawls.
Love it.
Jalen Duren and Musa Diabate got into it. Diabate is kind of a thug. And then later on, there was a little thing with Dylan Brooks. And I mean, they were, you know how they are. They're like all this kind of stuff, and they're basically posing. But this one, they actually threw some punches. Anyway, they had a couple of when they had 5 guys thrown out in that game. Yeah, four people thrown out. Yeah, watch.
Yeah.
Now they're going to face up to each other right there, and then boom, here we go.
Yeah.
Diabate is the Hornet. He's in the teal, and he's acting like he's a thug.
Man, they're on the floor. Look at this.
Yeah,
wow.
But
Can't
this is not
this guy.
up on the top of the screen. Once they get them separated, all of a sudden here comes Dylan Brooks, and he's going to take a swing during all this kind of. It was.
So if I'd have known that, if I'd have known that, Barry, maybe, but you never know. Before the game, I didn't know that there was a lot of tension between these two, but certainly a night. Well, look at this; they can't stop it. Big crowd there at Charlotte last night because the Hornets came in on a 9-game winning
which was
streak.
the longest winning streak in the NBA at the time. Yeah. Didn't happen. Not only Detroit covered the, what was it? 2.5, 3, 3.5. Yep.
Yeah. You know what
they
I
win
say,
the game.
Barry? Let them fight. I say let them fight, and if somebody breaks their hand or gets a jaw broken or whatever, maybe it'll teach them a lesson. But I'm thinking, just let them fight. Go for it. They're going to.
That's what they do in the hockey. Hockey, they
Yeah.
let them fight until somebody falls over, and then they come in and break it up.
Yeah, I mean, so if they're going to do that, I say let them fight. And the guy breaks his wrist and he can't play for anymore, and he's out of the NBA.
Right.
Maybe he'll think a little bit more about it.
Great. Anyway, so that was, again, as we often say in this segment on the Phantoms, that was then. This is now. Time to get back on the beam.
Yep, it is. Let's go out to Los Angeles.
There's old Van Earl, right?
Yeah. Used to be the Staples Center. I'm not sure where they play anymore. But
yeah,
tonight,
the Lakers are at home. It is, what is it called? The crypto.com.
Crypto.com.
Yeah.
This game's on NBA TV tonight, 9:30. I believe I have NBA TV, but I won't be staying up till 9:30.
It's a toughie to pick, I would think. It's Lakers and Spurs from LA.
Let me give you a little background here. The Spurs are coming in on a 4-game winning streak and have not played since Saturday. They played the Dallas Mavericks back-to-back. They played them at Dallas on Thursday, and they played them at San Antonio on Saturday.
Right.
Won both games by double digits, so all good there for the Spurs. They've had a little time off before they head to L.A. I guess they're probably already there for tonight's game. Now, what has L.A. done recently? Well, I mean, they've kind of just bebopped around a little bit, and they actually played last night, losing by 9 at home to Oklahoma City.
All right. So that's the setup. These are the circumstances as the Lakers and the Spurs do battle tonight in Los Angeles.
In Los Angeles.
That's the run-up.
That's the run-up. Oklahoma City leading the Western Conference at 41-13, who beat the Lakers last night. And look at the Lakers. They play the team that's in the second position, the San Antonio Spurs, who have won 4 in a row. Lakers, as I mentioned, losing last night. Not bad, but they did lose. And so they got to go up against the Spurs tonight, and they're catching 8.5.
Woo, what? Whoa.
8.5.
That checks out. What are they thinking?
And here's some of the things that there's been a little extra motivation, Barry.
Yeah.
LeBron calls out his teammates. We're not a championship team. Ooh.
Wait a minute. I've heard somebody else guarantee to their fan base that they were not going to win a championship.
Yeah.
And boy, did he get raked over the coals for it.
Yeah.
LeBron haven't you learned the lesson?
Yeah. The face of the NBA tells his teammates, we're not a championship team. So they went home, slept on that, thought about it, got second place San Antonio coming in tonight and catching 8.5.
Man.
I think I'll take the home team and the points here as the Spurs come to town. I got to say this, though. The Spurs have gotten good quick. I mean, they were terrible. I actually have seen the Spurs play over the last couple of years in person, and they weren't that good. But, man, they've gotten good lately.
They've gotten Victor Wembanyama. They've got Stephon Castle. They've gotten good players real quick. That always seems to happen. The Spurs are the luckiest. Hey, they get David Robinson. Hey, they just happened to draft Tim Duncan. Look at this. Wow. Ginobili worked out. Nobody knew who he was. The Spurs are the luckiest franchise in the NBA.
They still got that old guy as their coach that looked like
Popovich.
Had an acne problem when he was a teenager.
No, I think he's had a stroke. He's had a hard time getting around.
Yeah, I don't think that affected his face, but I mean, wow, I didn't.
Well, no, I wasn't.
Stroke.
I wasn't real worried about his face, but then again, so yeah,
he's been around a while. That guy's coached a long time.
Yeah,
at the same team, which is a rarity in professional sports.
So
now Preston says he retired.
He did retire. Yeah, that's what I was saying. He's had a stroke. Well, recap here, just to get it on the record, just to clip it and put it out there. This is the Phantoms Daily Dog.
Back at the association, we are taking the LA Lakers at home, taking on the San Antonio Spurs. The Lakers are catching 8.5 in this game tonight. Got beat last night. And so they're, I don't know, either they're going to come out flat and don't care, or they're going to have a light of fire under their tails, and they're going to be ready to play. I'm going with the ready to play because LeBron gave it to them last night.
Yeah.
So I'm going with the association, still staying away from a little college ball because I just didn't think nothing really grabbed me in the college hoops. Only 2 SEC games tonight. Well, what's up with only 2 league games? I mean, can we not have more on Tuesdays?
I don't get it. The Big 12 plays on Monday night. That's big for them. Huge ratings last night for that game. Tuesday, one of them, of course, is Auburn at home tonight against Vanderbilt. Alabama plays on the road at Ole Miss tomorrow night. Tuesday's kind of a quick turnaround. I don't – now, Mitch Johnson's a head coach of the Spurs. It's not Popovich. One other head coach in the head coach of the Hornets got thrown out yesterday in that big fracas with the Pistons.
I can't tell you who that is either.
You know who his name is, though?
No, I don't.
Charles Lee.
Really? Well, I should know that.
Much respect,
I thought there was only one legendary Charles Lee that was a coach. I didn't know there is.
Yeah.
Do you find it, Barry, ironic that this big brawl, probably the biggest brawl in the NBA this season, probably many seasons?
Yeah.
Are you surprised that it involved the Detroit Pistons? Kind of makes you feel old school.
Well, the Pistons, this is what it was. I mean, people will say, well, the Pistons didn't instigate it. Didn't they? I mean, there was a couple elbows here. This was like Lame Beer. Lame Beer would knock you over. He'd set a pick and, get a little gut punch in there while he was setting the pick. Elbows high on rebounds.
Yeah.
He'd clip somebody. And then when the fight started, he'd be like, what, me?
Yeah.
I didn't.
We didn't start anything.
John respected. That was kind of like yesterday.
Love
The
that
Pistons,
guy.
well, they didn't instigate it. Really, didn't they? I mean,
Yeah.
a little gut punch, a little knee to the groin, that kind of thing.
You got to know that if he was watching that game last night, Lame Beer,
yeah,
a smile had to come across his face. Look at these guys. There we go. Old school. Love it.
And if you were unlucky enough to be in the living room with him, he'd light a cigar and say, let me tell you about this. Man,
How
one
about those
time me and
people-
Mahorn went up against, and yet, right.
So what's the deal about people that have courtside seats? Is it every man for himself? If that fight ends up over there by your seats and, you get
they had
knocked
that-
over.
The biggest fight I ever saw was at one at the Palace in Auburn Hills, which is the Pistons home arena, with Ron Artest absolutely losing his mind. He's going into the stands. He's vaulting the scorer's table and going in. And there's this little old petite lady down there. She wasn't old, but she was just small. She's sitting, and you got big old 240-pound men throwing haymakers over,
Yeah.
You're on your own.
On your own.
I'd sit there and defend my wife, but yeah, you pay your money and take your chances. Well,
You better
that's our
get ready.
Phantoms Daily Dog coming up in a moment. We got to catch up a little bit on the Gurn Jr.
Yeah.
Victoryland 777 topic wheel. It's coming up with Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud Light.
Valentine's means Marguerite's, and Marguerite's has everything the special person in your life wants. Rings, bracelets, necklaces, earrings, pendants, and all shapes and sizes of diamonds. They have special gifts that will bring happiness and joy for decades and decades. For your convenience, Marguerite's is open 7 days a week. So drop by and pick out a gift that will surprise the Valentines in your life. Marguerite's is located at 8163 Vaughan Road in Peppertree, adjacent to Chappie's Deli. At Marguerite's, they make it. They really make it.
Summer's here, and so too are its many challenges. Heat that won't quit, beers that won't fit, hammocks that won't hammock, screen doors that appear out of nowhere, flips that flop a little too much. That's why it's important to keep it simple. Keep it cool, keep them coming, and keep it easy. Easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Bud Light.
Ram Truck Month is here at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. New Rams, 19 grand off or 0% for 6 years. And heavy duties, 14 grand off. Backed by Ram's 10-year, 100,000-mile limited warranty. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram. The President's Day sales event is on at Stivers, Alabama's #1 volume CDJR dealer. Grand Cherokees under 27 grand or up to 15 grand off. Wranglers, 14 grand off. And Gladiators, 16 grand off. Only at Stivers Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Love is in the air, and so is your chance to win during Victoryland Casino's BMW and 25K giveaway. Drive away in a brand new BMW or win your share of $25,000 in free play. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Stop by the Players Club and fall in love with this month's exciting free play promotions. There's more ways to win at Victoryland Casino, where you can be a winner too. Located off I-85 exit 22 in Shorter, Alabama. Drawings February 27th and 28th. Must be 21 or older. Must be present to win.
All right, welcome back in, everybody. Glad you are with us here today. You see the wheel. It is in the window, as they say. 6 topics on the Gurn Jr. Victoryland 777 topic wheel on this Tuesday, brought to you by Victoryland, where you can be a winner too. Big February promotion, a BMW and 25K giveaway. The more you visit Victoryland, the better your chances of winning. Let's see what we got here. Man,
I thought we were going to lose a topic because Gurn Jr. was quick on the throwing the fight of Pistons.
I want to see that again. I hope it's on the wheel. I'd love to see that fight.
Flipping out. Nate Oates' reaction after the Betty
flipping out.
Ilya Malinin. It's a backflip on ice.
Wow.
Yeah. I like figure skating fine, but they've got so many things. Ilya Malinin, by the way, that's a dude. Backflip on the ice. I just thought I'd had to clarify. Ilya.
What country is he out of?
I think he's actually from Georgia, which is a country.
Oh,
I think I'm right. I don't know. Don't be asking me this stuff about the Winter Olympics. Although I got to give you this shout out. Yeah, they don't like it. They the judge. I mean the administrators don't like it. But he's from America. Ilya Malinin. I was thinking of because you've got pairs ice dancing and the ice skating. I don't know what there's ice skating, ice dancing, stuff like this. Big shout out since we're talking Winter Olympics. Mike Tirico, he called Super Bowl 60 in Santa Clara.
Yeah.
On Sunday, obviously. Flew out that night. 13 hours later, he was in Milan, Italy, in Studio A at the International Broadcast Center Monday night to host primetime in Milan. He is the main anchor for all of NBC's coverage of the Winter Olympics. He was also the play-by-play guy for the Super Bowl. I got to meet Mike Tirico for the first time this summer. John, he does everything. He may be he's a really good play-by-play guy. Oh. I've always said before, maybe my favorite NFL player ever was Chris Collinsworth. Don't get to me on Chris Collinsworth. Worked with him for the Super Bowl, and then 13 hours after hot-footing it out of California, he's hosting the Olympics.
Yeah, that's amazing. I mean, it's kind of like Chris Fowler does the national championship game and then flies to Australia. Australian Open. I hope Mike has a good trip over there. I don't plan on watching any of the Olympics. I'm not very interested in it. Don't like.
I was watching the curling.
Yeah. And certainly I don't want media personalities asking athletes what they think about the United States or ICE or whatever else. Don't care. I don't care what an athlete has to say about it. It's like a movie star or a music performer. Anybody going to take what they say seriously? Really?
Yeah.
Wow. I'm going to think that way because some Olympic athlete said this. So I have no interest in it. I know the media is trying to get it all stirred up as much as they can.
Well, right now in the medal count, as of this morning, the United States has won 2 medals.
2.
Both of them gold. That puts us 7th. Italy has won 10 medals, but 6 of them are bronze, so that doesn't really, So yeah, Malinin, his parents are from Uzbekistan, which I could find it on a map. John,
I don't think I could.
Okay, all right, there we go. Here we go. All right, that's one in.
I just spin away. See what else we got. 5 more to go here on the Victoryland 777 topic wheel.
There were 2 in the ice dancing that were from Georgia. I'm thinking Georgia. Yeah, that Georgia. Shocker.
That I don't watch the Olympics.
This?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, again, we watched this game. Me and the members of the Troy basketball team. Arizona playing on the road. They are so good. Kansas playing without Darren Peterson, who's their best player. Flu-like symptoms.
Ooh.
Why do they call it flu-like? Well, just call it the flu.
Yeah.
But anyway, they came from behind. Fog Allen Fieldhouse is absolutely, I got to go there someday. I've never been there. They came from behind. Kansas played really, really well. Both of them played. It was an extraordinary game, and Kansas had the wherewithal late, hit a couple of big shots, got a couple of big stops, and hit some free throws. And there you go. That's the biggest win for any team that's had this year.
Can I ask a question? I'm just curious. And I don't want people to take this the wrong way, but I think they've looked at it as well. Why are teams like Kansas and Arizona and North Carolina and Duke, and I'm sure I could name a few more, how come those teams always have a diverse roster? You don't see that within many other schools. Why is it always them?
Diverse roster. You mean Short guys, tall guys, left-handed guys,
Yeah.
right-handed guys.
Short, tall, black, white. They're very diverse.
Yeah.
I see a lot I see a lot of other programs that seem to have the same type player on the floor. Why don't other schools go, we might ought to do what those teams are doing? They're very diverse and they're very successful.
Well, let's just look at and see if we can find the best player. Yeah, just the
Well,
John and I had the,
I get what you're saying, but it looks like diversity is how you are successful.
Look at
these
John.
teams are extremely
Look at
diverse,
John. Yes.
and they're always up at the top of the game.
Mr. DEI. I love it. There you go. How about John? Mr.
See?
Everybody belongs at the table.
Yeah.
I like it. I like it a lot. All right. 4 more to go. We're right on schedule. It's premature.
Greggy. All right.
How in the world North Carolina won this game is beyond me.
Don't storm the court.
Yeah, all right.
People.
This is the 3. I think his name is Seth Trimble, if I'm not mistaken. All right. Drive left, wide open in the right corner.
Diversity.
Clock running down. Right here goes. Here's the shot to win
Pennies.
it. Got it. But you look, and here comes the fans. They go rushing out on the court. But no, here come the wet blanket referees. Wave them off and says, get back. Shoo. Move away.
It's about us. We want everybody to see the refs.
And so basically they get everybody off of there. Duke inbounds and misses a half-court shot, and there just totally takes the entire vibe away from that. They ain't doing nothing. Go ahead and just let them
How
celebrate.
much did Carolina get fined for doing that? So what? They don't care. They're going to rush the field. They're going to storm the court, which I find so stupid.
People talk about North Carolina. Oh, people always rush the field. I mean, Alabama. People always rush the field when they beat Alabama in football. Nobody rushes the court more than whoever's playing Duke.
Yeah.
Duke gets and one of the Duke staffers got a bloody lip. He got trampled on. John Shire, the Duke coach, says, man, we got to do something about this. To John's point, the guy gets in the locker room. He's one of the staff guys, like one of the managers or something. Duke was trying to get through all of that to get it because they rushed the court again. And the guy he got a bloody lip. He's got a contusion over here. They say, hey, man, what happened? He said, I'm not really sure. You can't have that, John. You're exactly right.
And all these it's the college experience. It wasn't. No, it isn't. It's stupid. But I'm glad that that came up on the topic, Will, because there again, you saw a very diverse North Carolina basketball team. Just saying.
What in the
all
world?
right, let's spin again.
All right.
What a shot by that kid, though. I mean, that was nothing but panties. Bottom of the net. Awesome.
Yeah. Cool as the other side of your pillow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who could this be about? NASCAR. Whoa, in
New York?
What?
NASCAR in New York? Where in New York?
I did not know this. NASCAR in New York? Truck
I don't
series.
know what all this is.
Where in
Times Square.
No way. NASCAR is going to attempt to break a world record?
World's loudest billboard? Wait a minute. My co-host has staunchly been anti-billboard for years.
Yeah, when it comes to selling season tickets for a particular football program that claims to be a big boy.
Auburn had billboards one time to sell season tickets, and you would have thought that they had spit on the flag or something.
Yeah.
NASCAR, not only do they have a billboard, it's a loud billboard, and it's got an engine block right in the middle of it.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
to go.
Yeah.
Jeff tells us the Daytona 500 is this Sunday. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you, Jeff. Appreciate you.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
Keep
bringing the coffee
on top
on
of
Fridays.
my NASCAR.
All right. Let's go back at it.
I'll check it out. Yeah. Let's see what's next on the wheel. 2 to go. I think we can get them.
Yep.
Blue and red. Speaking of Kansas, they're blue.
Yeah.
Choked up.
Choked up.
Oh, wow. What could this be about?
Yeah.
Let's see. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
How about this guy?
Chris got her up. The waste management deal. 5 birdies in the last 6 holes with Hideki Matsuyama on the course, 1-shot lead. Matsuyama yanked a tee shot on 18. Got her up. This was one of the discussions they had the other day on the Golf Channel. Is there ever going to be any real true Danny Noonan out there? Any Carl Spackler, Cinderella story? Because it's always Scheffler or, all those guys up at the top. When have you Goddard up may be the first of an example of guys that come out of absolute nowhere. I think the PGA Tour needs more of that.
Well, they do, but the fans don't gravitate towards it. The ratings don't bear it out. They want to see the Tigers and the Schefflers and the Ricky Fowlers and the Rory McIlroys.
Yeah,
they want to see the same ones.
Goddard up, good for you. Funny last name. I'm glad you won it. Yeah. Matsuyama, boy, that tee shot on 18.
There's somebody on the tour, last name Shank. I'm thinking, how in the world that guy play golf?
Don't you remember that New York Giants kicker named Ali Haji Sheik?
Yeah, I do.
Way back in the day, Romy called him Ali Haji Shank. Yeah, loved that. One more. Here we go.
Who was that punter from Arkansas or kicker? He had a funny last name, I remember. All right, first ever is the last one.
Oh, yeah. Jason Myers, which is a name of two of the huge villains in the horror movie, Jason and Michael Myers. This is Jason Myers, used to play for the Jags. 206 points for the regular season and postseason. 49 field goals, 59 extra points. The first man ever to score 200 points in an entire season. The previous record, LT. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Okay.
You could win a bar bet by going Jason Myers on that trivia question.
You certainly could.
Many thanks.
Okay.
Brian Matthews, really fun to talk with him, auburnsports.com. And the definition of fun on this program is Travis Ryer from Ryer on YouTube. Tomorrow, it's our Wednesday show, our Hump Day show. We've got big plans, John.
Yeah, you're right about that. CJ Duncan, Yellowhammer News, joins us tomorrow. Also, Josh Harris, the Moneyline Magician. I think we can get him in tomorrow as well on the program. So Theotis, be looking forward to that. Also, a lot of other – we'll be recapping Auburn and Vandy tomorrow as well.
Yes. Well, let's see. Downstairs, I got breakfast for another couple of minutes. I'm going to head down and eat here at the Fairfield Inn and Suites in San Marcos, Texas. He's John Longshore. I'm Barry McKnight. For Gurn Jr., our producer, it's Longshore and McKnight in association with Yellowhammer News, presented by Bud